like the ultimate sleepover game, a rite of passage for anyone brave enough, or stupid enough, depending on how you look at it, to summon the spirit of a vengeful ghost in the bathroom mirror. Seriously, what could go wrong? The legend of Bloody Mary is one of those stories that's been passed down through generations, each retelling adding a new layer of creepiness. It's like a game of spooky telephone, and the message just keeps getting more and more terrifying. The basic premise is this. You go into a dark bathroom, light a candle, and chant Bloody Mary into the mirror a certain number of times, usually 3 because everything's scarier in threes. And then, boom, Bloody Mary appears in the reflection. But here's where the stories differ. Some say she's a harmless spirit, just looking for someone to talk to. Others claim she's a vengeful witch out to steal your soul or scratch your eyes out. Either way, I don't know about you, but I'd rather not risk it. There are tons of different variations of the chant, too. Some people say you have to spin around while you say it. Others say you have to prick your finger and offer her a drop of blood, because, you know, summoning evil spirits always requires a blood sacrifice. It's like there's a whole secret menu of Bloody Mary summoning techniques, and honestly, it's kind of terrifying. Okay, so you guys know how much I love a good ghost story, right? And there's something about hitchhikers that just screams creepy, like you're picking up a stranger on the side of the road, you know nothing about them. They could be a serial killer, or worse, a ghost. This brings us to the vanishing hitchhiker. Someone's driving down a deserted road late at night. It's raining, maybe there's fog, you know, classic spooky vibes. And that's when they see her, a lone figure on the side of the road, just begging for a ride. The driver pulls over, and the hitchhiker, she's usually described as young, wearing a white dress, and then poof, she's gone, vanished into thin air. The driver is like, what the... Did they imagine the whole thing? But then they find something in the car, something the hitchhiker left behind. Turns out she died years ago, maybe in a car accident on that very road. They say she's buried nearby, and she's been seen hitchhiking on that road ever since. Car. Okay, this next one is a classic, a true urban legend staple that's been freaking out babysitters and anyone who's ever been home alone for decades. I'm talking about the babysitter and the man upstairs. This story is like the ultimate babysitter's nightmare. So imagine this. It's a dark and stormy night. The wind is howling outside, rain is lashing against the windows, and you're home alone babysitting. You've put the kids to bed and now you're downstairs trying to enjoy a quiet night in. Maybe you're watching TV, but you can't shake this uneasy feeling, like someone or something is watching you. The phone rings, startling you. You answer it and it's just a prank call. Annoying, sure, but harmless, right? Wrong, because this is where things start to get creepy. A few minutes later, the phone rings again, same thing, another prank call, and then again and again. Each call, the voice on the other end gets a little closer, a little more menacing. You can practically hear the smirk in their voice. You try to ignore it, but the calls are starting to freak you out. Finally, the phone rings one more time. This time, the voice on the other end is different, deeper, raspy, and filled with a chilling malice. They ask, "Have you checked on the children? Your blood runs cold." You slam down the phone, your heart pounding. You try to tell yourself it's just a cruel joke, but something deep down tells you that something is very, very wrong. You grab the cordless phone and start to pace the living room, your eyes darting around. The hairs on the back of your neck are standing on end. You can practically feel someone's eyes on you, watching your every move. Pair of scissors. Okay, guys, this next one is messed up, like seriously messed up. It's called the Kidney Heist, and it's one of those urban legends that just makes you want to stay inside forever. It usually starts with a group of friends out on the town, having a good time. Maybe they're at a bar, maybe a club, who knows. The point is, they're young, they're carefree, and they're about to have their world turned upside down. One of them, usually the life of the party, has a little too much to drink, like way too much. They're stumbling around, slurring their words, you know the type. Their friends, being good friends, decide to take them home, make sure they get there safe. But on the way, something happens. Maybe they get separated in the crowd, maybe the drunk friend wanders off on their own, who knows? The point is they disappear. Hours go by and the friends start to worry. They retrace their steps, they call hospitals, they even check the drunk tank. Nothing. Their friend has vanished. And then, the next morning, They get the call. Their friend is in the hospital, but it's not good news. They're alive, but barely. They're hooked up to all sorts of machines, pale and weak, and the doctors tell them the craziest thing: their friend's kidney is missing, dressed up as a clown. Okay, so this next urban legend is like the OG of scary phone calls. You know, before we had caller ID and *69, back when getting a phone call from an unknown number was actually terrifying. It's the story of the call is coming from inside the house. Picture this. It's a dark and stormy night. Okay, maybe not stormy, but definitely dark. A young woman is home alone, watching TV, when suddenly the phone rings. She answers, and on the other end, she hears a creepy, raspy voice whispering threats, like really disturbing stuff. She hangs up, obviously freaked out, but the phone rings again and again and again. Each time the voice gets closer, more menacing. Finally, she decides to call the operator. You know, back when operators were a thing, and the operator tells her to stay calm, that they're going to trace the call. A few minutes later, the operator comes back on the line and says those chilling words, "Mom, the calls are coming from inside your house." I mean, can you imagine the terror? You're being stalked by someone in your own house, someone who's close enough to be making calls from another room. So there you have it, you guys, 10 urban legends that have kept us up at night, made us double check our back seats, and maybe even think twice about answering the phone. From the Hookman to the clown statue, these stories tap into our deepest fears and anxieties, reminding us that sometimes truth can be stranger than fiction. But as we've seen, the reality behind these legends is often more mundane than we might expect. Misinterpretations, exaggerations, and good old-fashioned storytelling all play a role in shaping these tales. It's like a giant game of telephone where the story gets more and more distorted with each retelling. But hey, that doesn't mean we can't still enjoy a good scare, right? Urban legends remind us to be cautious, to question what we hear, and to maybe sleep with the lights on every once in a while. Now, I want to hear from you guys. Have you ever experienced anything creepy or unexplainable that made you think twice about these urban legends? Let me know in the comments below, and maybe your story will inspire the next episode. And don't forget to check out my next video where we'll be diving into even more creepypastas and internet mysteries. Until then, stay spooky.